And the king came back, and he was so surprised that all of the millet was gone. He really could not believe it. Hi, I'm Miss Carol, and I'm an early childhood teacher at Acorn Hill Waldorf Kindergarten and Nursery. In a Waldorf Early Childhood Kindergarten, we tell stories every day. Waldorf teachers are storytellers, and we take a lot of interest and intention in telling a story to a child. Our tone of voice, we use very few gestures, if any, and we tell the tale as it was handed down to us. The story I'm about to tell you is called Harambee, a pulled together morning. It comes from a country in Africa, so it has some Swahili words in it, and it has to do with overcoming obstacles and how they all pull together to overcome the obstacles in order to bring light to earth. So long ago, there was no light on earth. The world was dark. Everyone was stumbling into each other and falling into holes and bickering. And they weren't very happy. For you see, it was dark all the time. So one day the lion came and he called a meeting, and he said, "Umoji, listen everyone, listen. We need to pull together." And then the lion roared and said, "Listen, everyone." The crocodile got their attention too. Everyone pulled together and started to listen. If we want to bring light to earth, we have to pull together. We have to figure it out. And so, one of the animals, the leopard, decided to start the problem solving. You know, sometimes when it rains, there's a crack in the sky. And through that crack, we have seen the light. Now, if we could go to the sky and crawl through the crack, we could bring light back to earth. Well, the hyena laughed and said, "How could we possibly do that? We can't go to the sky, and even if we did, we're too big to fit through the crack." Well, the mouse nudged the spider, and he tapped the fly on the wings and said, We're not too big. "We could do it," said the mouse. "The spider, the fly, and I, we could do it." "Well, wait a minute," said the fly. I can't go. The spider will eat me." Then the spider said to the fly, "If you're going to help bring light back to earth, we can do this together. I will not eat you." So the fly rubbed his back legs together and thought about it. "Okay," he said, "I will go." So, Harambee, everyone said. Harambee, we have a pull-together morning. They all said Harambee, and we will stay down here on earth playing music while you go to the sky and bring back the light. So they started playing all their musical instruments, and the mouse started to climb after the spider spun a silver ladder all the way up to the sky. And when they got to the top, the mouse gnawed through the sky lining, and they squeezed through the crack and to the other side. They got on the other side, and their eyes were blinking. It was so bright. The sky people came all around to see who had come. No one had ever come before from Earth. It was something new. So they crowded around to ask the mouse, the spider, and the fly, why had they come? "Oh, well, we've come to bring light back to Earth," they said. "Well," they said, "for that you must come and see our king, for you must speak to him about that." So they met with the king of the sky people, and they told him what they came for. Well, he didn't want to act too pleased because he did not want to give up the light. "I will have to have a meeting," he said, and he went into a tent that was green and red and black. And inside, the fly flew in and sat on the wall where no one could see him. And he listened. He told his sky people, "I do not want to give up the light, so we're going to give them 2 tests. These 2 tests will prove they will never be able to do it. They're such tiny little beings." So he goes out And he tells, the fly flies out and talks to the mouse and tells them they're going to have 2 tests. And so the king describes the first test. This whole area, grassy area, has to be cut down. All the grass must be collected because we need new roofs for our houses. Well, okay, said the mouse, fine, thank you so much, you're so generous. We will have it done by morning, as you said. So the king goes away, and the fly and the spider say to the mouse, how could you possibly say yes to this? Because we can't do all of that, it's impossible. Said the mouse, and she started to think about what could be done. She had an idea. She went back down the silver spun ladder to earth. She went to find the queen of the ants and summoned her and told her what they needed. The queen summoned all of her ants, and up the silver spun ladder they went, following behind the mouse. When they got to the top, they went into the field and they cut every blade of grass so that by morning the field was completely cut. The king came and he was very surprised, but he didn't want to show it. He said, that's fine, that's your first test, and now you have a second test. I'm going to cut all the millet in this other field, and by morning you must eat it all. Oh, said the mouse, thank you so much, you're so generous. We'll see you in the morning. The king left and went away, sure that they would never pass this test. Well, again, the spider and the fly said to the mouse, how could you possibly promise such things? Because we can't possibly eat all of this by morning. Well, said the mouse, and she started to think and think. She came up with a plan. She burrowed underneath the field, tunnels and miles of tunnels, and the wheat stalks, or the millet stalks, were taken by the spider and the fly, and they were all buried in the tunnels underground. By morning, they were all gone, they were all underneath, and the king came back, and he was so surprised that all of the millet was gone. He really could not believe it. So he said he'd have to have another meeting with the sky people, he'll be right back. So off he went, back into the tent. And the fly flew back in and sat on the wall, listening to every word. Well, said the king, I do not want to give up light, so we're going to give him these 2 boxes to choose from. One is white and one is red. One has the light, one does not. The fly knew that the white box had no light, so out he flew and he told the mouse all about it. When the king came out with these 2 boxes, one red and one white, the mouse pretended to be thinking about which one to take. All of a sudden, she grabbed the red box, ran down the silver spun ladder, and the fly and the spider followed right after her. They got all the way back down to earth. They were so happy to be there and back, and everyone was playing music and was so happy to see them. They said, Harambee, Harambee, we had a pull-together morning. And everyone is back. Well, they took the lid off the red box, and light did not come out, but instead a rooster popped out. A rooster? Oh, the mouse thought, for sure we've been deceived by the king. Maybe, he deceived us. They were so sad. But the rooster put one foot on the ground and then another foot on the ground and ruffled his feathers and threw back his head and said, ha ha, Harambee, ha ha, Harambee. And in the eastern sky, a glow appeared. It was pink and yellow. And then the sun popped up fiery red. And as you know, to this day, every morning, the rooster is still calling up the sun, and that is how the light came to earth. O golden sun, so shining bright, please warm us with your golden light. Let's all join hands that there may flow a stream of warmth and golden glow.